Hi everyone, my name is Rafael Cabello and I am going to inform you about dictators and how they set the conditions for World War II. Also, how they led their military aggressively to gain power over other countries and the war. On July 28, 1883, a leader named Mussolini was born. He was an Italian politician. In addition, he was a journalist and leader of the Nationalist Fascist Party. Mussolini also ruled Italy as prime minister from 1922 until 1943. During World War II, Mussolini associated himself in a partnership with Adolf Hitler. This was because he was relying on the German dictator to provide him with help for his leadership. He was killed right after his surrender in Italy in 1945. Mussolini also arose and strengthened the supreme military rank of First Marshal of the Empire along with King Victor Emmanuel III of Italy, which gave Mussolini the King joint supreme management over the military of Italy. Mussolini remained in control until he was overruled in 1943. In addition, he was the leader of the Italian Social Republic up until his death. The Italian Social Republic was a satellite state of Nazi Germany during the later part of World War II. A satellite state is a country that was formerly independent in the world. He influenced and accomplished admiration from a wide variety of political figures. In 1939, his army had a difficult time invading and occupying Albania. In April 1941, he invaded Greece without consulting Hitler. If it weren't for the assistance of the German troops, he would have lost the battle. Moreover, on July 16, 1943, the Grand Council met and asked him to step down, which he did. In conclusion, on April 28, 1945, he was captured trying to escape the country and was executed. On December 18, 1878, Joseph Stalin was born in Gori, Georgia, and died on March 5, 1953, in Moscow, Russia. Stalin was the dictator of the Union of the Soviet Socialist Republics. Under Stalin, the Soviet Union was transformed from a peasant society into an industrial and military superpower. Born into poverty, Stalin became involved in the revolutionary politics, as well as criminal activities as a young man. Stalin became an underground political agitator, taking part in labor demonstrations and strikes after leaving school involved him in various criminal activities, including bank heists. The money taken was used to help from the Bolshevik Party. From the time periods of 1902 and 1913, he was arrested multiple times and subjected to imprisonment and exile in Siberia. He ruled by terror, and millions of his own people died during his brutal supremacy. Once in power, he collectivized farming and had potential enemies executed or sent to forced labor camps. Stalin was selected to serve on his first Central Committee of the Bolshevik Party. The Bolsheviks seized power in Russia in November 1917. In addition, he became the Secretary General of the Central Committee of the Communist Party. This allowed him to appoint his allies into government jobs and grow based on political support. Stalin eventually overcame his rivals and won the power struggle for control of the Communist Party. By late 1920s, he had become dictator of the Soviet Union. Meanwhile, World War II, in 1939, Stalin and German dictator Adolf Hitler signed a non-aggression pact. In June 1941, Germany destroyed the Nazi-Soviet pact and invaded Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. Making an early movement, Stalin had ignored warnings from the Americans and the British, as well as his own intelligence agents, about a possible invasion, and the Soviets were not prepared for war. Stalin destroyed all supplies and infrastructures that might benefit the enemy. Adolf Hitler was born on April 20, 1889, and died on April 30, 1945. After World War I, he arose to power in the National Socialist German government in 1993. When Hitler came to power in 1993, good German military preparations were made for war. He hoped to lead them to power in Germany. On September 1, 1931, Germany invaded Poland from the west. France and Britain declared war on Germany 2 days later because of the invasion. This caused the beginning of World War II. He aligned himself with the Italian dictator named Benito Mussolini to help us up his leadership. Then, The Germans attacked the Soviet Union on June 22, 1941. The invasion worked at first, but the Soviet Union was supposed to be crashing down in the first few weeks, but they didn't. When Hitler began to see increasing danger from the Western Allies, he relied on Admiral Karl Dönitz to hold them off by submarine warfare. Admiral, a naval history of World War II, helped Adolf a lot, so he relied on him. As the Allies closed in on Germany, Hitler began to hope for a split in the alliance he had made against himself. He assumed the establishment of a dictatorship and the killing of Jews would guarantee victory. In the end, he married his lover and then committed suicide with her. Germany surrendered World War II on May 7, 1945, only a few days after his death of Adolf Hitler. The fascist salute in Germany, also known as the Nazi salute, is a gesture that was used in Nazi Germany. The salute is performed by extending the right arm in the air with a straightened hand. Usually, the person offering with the salute would say, "Hail Hitler!" It was adopted in the 1930s by the Nazi Party to signal obedience to the party's leader and to glorify the German nation. The salute was mandatory for civilians but mostly optional for military personnel, who retained the traditional military salute until shortly after the failed assassination attempt on Hitler in 1944.